So, Carly, thank you so much for being here today. Carly, you started Not Just for Vegans. And I believe that your story is a rather unconventional one, but I love it because it's COVID related. I think if you would just like to take us through, because I think for a lot of people in COVID, they lose their job, they don't know what to do, they just see everything going wrong. Whereas for you, your story of that happening has led you into a place where I don't think you thought you would ever be. And I think a lot happier than you ever imagined. So just tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, so in July of 2020, I was made redundant from a good job in construction, so completely different from what I'm doing now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you know what? I did think that I enjoyed my job, although I feel like I was close to burnout. I feel that my days were long and the responsibility was quite intense. So when I was actually made redundant, I remember getting the call on the Thursday evening, and it was on a Zoom call, because obviously that's the only way we were communicating at that point. And I just remember feeling that sense of relief, like when it happened. It was like it, and I was due to go out that evening, and I didn't cancel. I was just like, yeah, let's just go out this evening, enjoy the weekend, process it. And then we got back onto another call this following week and sorted everything out. But yeah, I just remember thinking, yeah, this is my time. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just decided that I was going to take the rest of the year off and take a break and then regroup in January. But that didn't end up happening either. Within 3 weeks, I think it was, I got a notification from GoDaddy where I bought a domain name. And it was just this idea, or just this concept, because having been vegan for so long, people see vegan choices as just being for vegans. And my mindset is that, vegan products are just for everyone. There are so many beautiful products, not just food, but sustainable materials and things like that. And it just seems a shame not to kind of be able to show those. So that was an idea from 5 years ago, and then it came up, and I was just like, okay, I know this lady who sells these amazing cork handbags, and I've been purchasing them for like 5 years, so I know their quality and everything. And I reached out to her, and we'd had a great relationship anyway. She's a Canadian lady, and she got in touch with me and asked to have a call, like I said, 5 years ago when I first purchased the bag. And she wanted to understand the Dubai market and how she could get our products in here and stuff like that. We were on their call for about an hour and a half. When you just meet someone, you're just like, that's just so lovely. Yeah. I love what they're doing. I love their passion.
Yeah.
And she said at the time, she goes, at some point, me and you are going to do something together. She goes, I don't know what it is, but our paths are supposed to cross. And we've always kept in touch. And then when I reached out to her, she was like, let's do something. Let's put some distribution over here. So we got that aligned and did that. And by December, I launched Not Just for Vegans. And it was just an e-commerce selling these cork handbags, which was great.
And then when I first met you, was a market on the palm.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that if someone had told me where I'd be sat right now and what I was doing, I couldn't even comprehend that. So when I started the e-commerce and went to these business networking events and things like that, what I found is that I was meeting these other businesses, and they were great. They're great at what they do, but their intent or what they were doing wasn't resonating with me, because what I was doing isn't just about a business, it's just about having a kinder impact on the planet.
Right.
So I was looking around trying to find a network which did that, and there wasn't. So I created a Facebook group, and I think in the first week we had 30 businesses add themselves into this group, and we just called it Vegan Entrepreneurs at that point, because I didn't know what name to give it or anything like that, and it's just stuck at that. And I think in April in 2021, we had our first network event, and that was kind of a difficult time. And we did that in collaboration with a restaurant and a PR company, and did like a little PR 101 workshop for the
Right.
people who attended, because I honestly thought that it was going to be 5 or 6 people sat around a dining table just having a chat about how business was. But the response we got was like 30 people. It's like, okay, how are we going to do this? We can't just have people just turn up. We need to have some value or some content for people to come. So we put on a breakfast. We had the PR talk and discussion and the Q&A at the end. And then when we had a company who showcased their product, it just worked. It was just really lovely to see this like room of people have this amazing energy about what we were doing. So we were all perfectly aligned. So I loved that. And I just thought, okay, this is something that it's woken me up.
Yes.
So the e-commerce all of a sudden took a back seat as like, this is what I want to be doing. I want to be around these people. I want to be dealing with other businesses. I don't want to be just selling to consumer. As much as I love that, there's something about having other people who are similar to yourself.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of made sense to put it into a market. There's no other vegan market out there.
Yeah.
And we had so many businesses, it just kind of made sense. And this is how I Yogafest kind of come to mind for me, is that I dealt with Thrift for Good. So they gave me an opportunity to do the first market, and I had the privilege of working with Jen, which was amazing. So she gave me that first opportunity to
another Canadian.
Yes, another Canadian. There's a pattern here, isn't there? And she's such a graceful lady, and she just gave me the opportunity to do that. And I enjoyed collaborating. And it was a collaboration because it helped Thrift for Good, it helped me, and it brought all these small local businesses together. And it was great fun. Do you know what? That's what I'm finding.
Still having memories of the delicious vegan cheese I had at that market. Hope I can find one like that here in New Zealand.
Yeah. Oh, that's Watershed. Yeah, she's amazing. So she's one of our first vendors as well. She was there at the very first one, and people come for her cheese.
Yeah, it's amazing. Definitely. Yeah.
And I think the one that you came to was our biggest event so far. I think we had like over 40 vendors.
Yeah, it was big.
So it's really built momentum, and we've just completed an expo market as well. And they've asked us to come back at the end of March. So it's really, I really have to stop and think sometimes, like, okay, of what we've done, because I'm still in that corporate mindset, unfortunately, where whatever I do doesn't seem to be good enough. Like, because you set these targets on yourself, but you're so used to working in a certain way. I'm still struggling with that shift of just enjoying what I'm doing, but I know that will go, because that's what I'm working on right now. That
might be a good topic for one of your next meetings for the businesses, to work on that mindset shift with a coach or something. So I'm sure that some of your partners are also in the same headspace, that you're all wanting to work on. I think it's just fantastic. I mean, I think gone vegan 5 years ago, that there's just been a massive growth, not only in Dubai, but worldwide for, plant-based products, whether they're food, clothing, anything. I think it's so much easier now to make those choices than it was 10 years ago.
Definitely. And it's interesting what you were saying about mindset. You must have been reading my mind, because that's one of what we're looking to do as our next workshop is about mindset. so funny you said that. And also mindset of sales as well, and positivity, because it's amazing how one little incident can change someone's mindset of moving forward. And we want to help people and encourage people to kind of be able to flip that switch back into a positive mindset as well.
So who are you hoping to meet at Yogafest? What sort of interactions are you hoping to get from our participants and visitors?
Well, the biggest thing is that we'd love their feedback on what they feel that is missing out there. And it's not, like I said, it's not just about people who are vegan or plant-based. It's about those other products, those other things, those other services that are out there, which are more about sustainability. Because I think everyone these days has got is more conscious in their thinking towards what we're doing for the planet. And we all know that being vegan is the biggest impact we can have, but there are still choices that we can all make, or people who aren't vegan can make, to make a more positive impact. So yeah, I just want to have people's feedback. I'd love to just speak to people. I'd love to know what their feelings are about how the world is evolving and how sustainability is becoming so key in what we're doing.
Yeah, and I think, you know, people think in Dubai, you know, we are a massive city in the middle of the desert, that, you know, how sustainable can we be? And what used to bother me, people would say, oh, you know, well, there's no recycling, you can't do that here. I'm like, you know what, your values are things you take with you wherever you go. You can find a way to do the things that are important to you wherever you are. And if they don't exist, then start them. And I think you are a perfect example of that. You know, the network didn't exist that you wanted to sell products in an ethical, socially sustainable way. And so you created it. And now you've got this fantastic new business that you're running and attracting more and more like-minded businesses. So I think, you know, it is possible. You just have to believe that if you need it, someone else does too, and then just create it if it's not there. So well done, you.
Thank you. I just wanted to make it easier. I just want to be able to inspire people to make little changes or shifts. And if we create a platform that allows people to substitute things really easily, then it makes it easier to switch into that more plant-based focus as well.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. Well, listen, thank you so much for your support, Carly. I think anybody who's interested, your details will be below this talk. And if they're wanting to come to your market, then they can reach out to you and learn more about the support that you provide for businesses that share your values. I wish you all the success at the festival in March. Thank you for supporting us.
Thank you so much. No, I'm glad to be part of it.
Thank you.